Well, good afternoon from just north of Quebec City. Bon après-midi. Je suis juste au nord de la ville de Québec. I'm up by Lac Beauport, and I've brought my group up to a Cabane sucre, a sugar shack. I'm near Stoneham, so just a half-hour drive, really, straight up from the city. And it's been windy out in Quebec, as it always, well, it regularly is, but I've only done one of these real-time videos, but I just felt I had to come and share the trees changing up here. Now, normally it would be very, very busy, particularly this time of year. They produce the maple syrup, so that's why it's called a sugar shack, Cabane sucre, and they produce it in the spring. However, now in the fall, of course, it's just so wonderfully beautiful. It's musical and fun. But of course, there hasn't been much group tourism, as we all know, for about 18 months. So we're just one little group here. But I just thought with the mountains the way they are now, I thought it'd be fun just to share a little bit of this. There's the big sign, Cabane sucre. Of course, Quebec is overwhelmingly the biggest producer of maple syrup in the whole wide world. And they actually store the excess to keep the prices, so it is a big complicated business. But if you keep driving north from here for just under 200 kilometers, get up to the Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean, and that's the big internal region in sort of north central Quebec. But otherwise, the overwhelming majority of Quebec, of course, lives along the St. Lawrence. But this is what a Cabane sucre. If you do come to Quebec, no matter how much you think you don't like tourism, this is one of the experiences you have to come to. Of course, this region gets huge amount of snowfall in the winter. This is one of the most beautiful, sustainable models of harvesting nature. And why I say that is the trees are not killed in the harvest, and then they cook down the maple syrup, of course. You have to boil it down. It's all organic, it's all natural. But I do just want to take a moment. Of course, there's some power wires around, but just to enjoy some of this wilderness. Deer all over the place, of course, and marmots and black bears. Then lots of wild berries. In fact, I went out to one of the many organic, regionally sourced restaurants last night in Quebec City itself. But it is interesting as the wind howls up the St. Lawrence and causes a very, very harsh and heavy winter for a long time. Up here right now, I have a light jacket on, but I really don't need it. But the colors are just popping out at the moment. And it's just a treat to enjoy autumn or fall or whatever you like to call it. Here, this is later September. And it's about as perfect as these colors can get. Huge variety of trees. Oh, that was a woodpecker. Little one, probably a three-toed, but not sure. But these classic metal roofs, because of course the heavy snowfall that comes down, and still lots of stacked wood drying out, because historically, of course, that's how you heat your home. But of course, everything's a lot more modern than it used to be, but it's lovely to have these traditions still alive. Now this whole area is, well, it's residential and it's a bit resorty. There's the ski hills. The ski runs are quite short because the mountains aren't too big, but of course the snowfall is excellent. So after the group has had their little visit into the Cabane sucre and how it's made, then they come over and have food here. And normally, of course, then you have lovely music as well, which has a very maritime flair to it. So maritime Canada or Normandy, Brittany, and even an Irish sort of sense. It's part of the tradition of the music here in French Canada. And I like this little warning here. It says danger, risque de chute de neige et de glace. Falling snow risk. Just a little testament to just how harsh the climate can get. Not harshish, but how much snowfall can happen. And then that freeze and thaw. But the lovely hills around in the distance and the gorgeous colors. And already some of them are really dropping their leaves. So it's not a long period, but it is a beautiful period. And this is fun. Give permission to take some trees down, although these are all very sustainable. And so here's a truck loaded up, probably with a cord of wood, take off to sell to someone. But I just want to come and and just share some more leaves with everyone for another minute. And thank you for coming on this fun outing. And please feel free to share these videos. This is very new for me, just to upload them directly from the phone and not go through the longer process, but still learning the whole YouTube event. But it sure is nice to connect. And what a beautiful sky. So it just feels so good to get out and travel around a little bit again in this beautiful part of the world. So merci beaucoup et à bientôt from autumn in Canada.